I took 9 classes and have certificates in AutoCAD and CAD key. However, there were no schools close around with the architecture program that I could attend at night while I worked during the day. I worked at exit 47 of I-95, Wheelers Farm Road, framing, and the guy who subcontracted the framers sent me to work with a French Canadian, who I consider to be the Michael Jordan of framing in terms of organization, neatness, and speed. We framed million-dollar houses, just the 2 of us, and on some occasions, his son. We worked 9 hours a day, 6 days a week. He saw me as his money machine and withdrew the last penny from me. One morning, I was having chest pains, so I called and informed him, but I can't come to work today. And he said, if I cannot come to work today, then he does not need me. Just come and pick up my check. When first they arrived, I picked up my check, shook his hands, and wished him success in his future endeavors. I went to work for Western Builders and worked over a decade for the company. However, weighing heavily on my mind was the fact that at any time, a heartless employer, at any moment's notice, could say they no longer need me. Therefore, I formed and managed my company while simultaneously working with Western Builders. On May 18th, early morning, on my son's birthday, I had a vision of him kneeling beside me, his back facing the eastward, shaking his head north to south. I went to his room and he was fast asleep. Given what I had experienced, I became scared. I could not sleep and knew danger was on the horizon. While I worked, another foreman came, and at 9 a.m., as usual, the workers went to the coffee shop, and the foreman said, no break. I ignored him and sat in my vehicle eating. He came up to me and I brought down the window, and he said, you are fired. I replied, I don't work for you. And he told me, what you don't know is that I have shares in the company. I replied, but I don't see your name on my check. And at that moment, he bragged of his perceived white privilege. And I told him, and he told me, when Eric, the owner, gets here, who do you think he is going to believe? Me or you? And I replied sarcastically, obviously you. After my break, I tried to go back to work on the roof installing rafters. And at this time, the foreman began hitting me. After every assault, I kept saying, violence is the tool of the ignorant. And he responded by saying, if you go on the roof, I am going to throw you down. Then at this point, the regular job foreman intervened and told me to go and sit in the garage. I will get paid. While sitting on a compound bucket, I saw one of the company's owner, Eric, with nail guns in his hand, in both hands like a cowboy. He was surprised to see me in such a position and asked, what is going on? The foreman saw me talking with Eric and ran towards us and cut me off and started telling lies. I said, Eric, they are all lies. He sensed that Eric believed me and hit me again. And Eric looked at him and said, dude, are you crazy? With frustration, I said to Eric, the only reason I am not calling the police is that I don't want police coming on my job. And he said, Ed, thank you. Lord knows I don't want police coming on my job. But the real reason for not calling the police was because, except for the foreman, all the employees were foreigners, and I was the only documented one. I did not retaliate out of cowardice, for every fiber in my being wanted to inflict tremendous pain upon him. And I remember the old African saying, there is a fine line between life and death. We step in and out of it without knowing. I was also thinking about Gandhi's quote, I object to violence, for when it appears to the good it does is temporary, but the evil it does is permanent. I went home and told my brothers what I had experienced, and they were furious. However, to add insult into injury, one told me, you hands on you. On my journey, I took my friend David's advice and joined the union in 2007. And it is one of the best decisions I have made. I took the journeyman's test instead of the apprentice and scored in the 80s. However, Lou Kokoza suggested that I should come in as an apprentice and always pay my dues. Someday, I may want to run for office and can't if dues are not paid. From day one, I happily did everything that was asked of me by my union. I saw it as my duty and responsibility. And like JFK said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I carried that concept to my union. Ask not what my union can do for me, but what I can do for my union. I had a wonderful experience at Yale's Training School with everyone, particularly a wise man and an instructor named Sal. On my first day at training, he saw how I held my wood chisel and said, "Williams, I can see you have a lot of skills." With instructor Dave Paul, I had plenty of laughs in his concrete class. I would joke around with him and say, "Sir, your dog beat me. And how do you like your steaks?" And there was Sandy. While it is true, no one is indispensable, we should all acknowledge the fact that she is an asset to our organization. In 2014, I received a call from Lou Kokoza. He asked, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I replied, "Honestly, don't know. But wherever you see inequalities, look for me there." He responded, "Good answer," and hung up, but called back within a couple of minutes and said, "What do you think of being treasurer?" I told him that was a huge responsibility and did not realize the union held me in such high regard. He said, "Yes, they have been watching me from the moment I joined the union." I served as treasurer up until the merger. Here are some of my present and past services. I was a member of the Young Freedom Movement, YFM, a youth arm of the political party of the first woman Prime Minister of Dominica. I was a member of Saints Sports Club, one of the top and longest lasting sports clubs in Dominica, where I served as a committee member, the under-19 cricket captain, the intermediate soccer captain, and first division soccer captain. In 2002, I was a certified soccer coach for BESO, Boys of America Youth Soccer Organization, and a member of the NRC, Neighborhood Revitalization Zone Committee. I had the opportunity to serve on the Economic Committee, but served instead on the Anti-Blight Committee. In the union, I served on the Mentoring Committee, Mentoring and Retention Committee, Delegates, Political Action Committee, Treasurer. I was in the process of being an instructor at Dumas in Stamford, but during the course of making it legal, COVID came. I currently serve as day shift shop steward with Orion at Target in Trumbull. For many years, my brain has been going through an incubation period. However, as a result of the pandemic, I found the needed solitude. And what kept me up at night were unions in Dominica, AC Lobla, a co-founder of trade unionism in Dominica, and in his search for a just society. PJ Maguire and Local 326. And it seems these great men, or the Creator, heard my cries and gave me the intuition to acknowledge that all unionists are union leaders, but not all union leaders are unionists. And that is how I came to realize that I, like PJ Maguire, am a unionist. And that is what I was born for. It is the food that I eat and the air that I breathe. And I have always been its humble servant and true ambassador. What saddens me the most is that I see some who are about to retire have nothing nice to say about the union, and that is not good for the newcomers. I want all members to have the joyous experience I had when I joined the union. Anything else is unacceptable. I see the bad habits of non-union and the disrespect shown to the workers in the workplace that many of them are afraid to talk about, but tell me privately that they would like to see change. However, have given up on the rank and file to do anything about it. So they laugh at me when I say, given the opportunity, I would change it. For example, they don't do safety meetings anymore, and guys are afraid to speak up because they are afraid they may get laid off. I heard my union brothers say, the union does not give lunch anymore. No exaggeration. He said this about 15 times. I was tired of listening to his misinformation, so I told him, but it is not true. It is in our collective bargaining agreement, CBA. The next day, we were walking about 15 feet away from each other, and he called me, and he said, companies are not going to hire you. You are making the workers wise. That reminded me of what a former employer said to me 30 years ago. It was at this moment I decided for certain I was going to run for president. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, I will never forget where I came from. I am a man of the field. I know what happens in the field. I will fight with all my might to make things right, because my word is my wealth. Therefore, I seek the office of the presidency. And to those who may be a little skeptical, I have a certificate from Cornell University in labor relations. I have recently completed a course in how to form a union in the workplace. I am constantly educating myself on how to become a better unionist so that I can be of service to my brothers and sisters. As your servant, president, and like our unionists did before us, we will be able to sing in one voice in the old union song, solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. And like a tree planted by the waters, who shall not be moved. So I am here. So here I am, brothers and sisters. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. God bless America, and God bless Local 326. Thank you very much.
Yeah.